Hey guys, this is Brad from Blue Nile Farm. Welcome to my channel. You know, for the last several years, I've had an algae problem in this pond specifically behind me, and you can see it's nothing but a sea of green. This is Memorial Day, and I shouldn't have this problem. So for many years, I've enjoyed this pond, and I've always wanted to put a fountain in it, but they're very expensive. Well, today we're going to deal not only with this algae problem, but I'm going to show you how to get a fountain to be put in this pond. It's going to not only look beautiful and do the job, but it's something that anybody and everybody can afford. So stay tuned, and I'm going to show you what I bought and how well it works. So stay tuned. So the solution to this little problem I have behind me is in this little box, and this is called a Henkur 1 horsepower, 15,000 gallons per hour pump, which acts as a fountain, and it produces a spread about 33 foot wide and 8 foot tall. And I looked at this for my buddy who basically turned me on to this because he bought one similar to this on Amazon. And there's a lot of different companies that sell this type of product, but a lot of them are looking the same and they're just almost renamed or rebranded. And of course, everything's coming from China. Now, over the years, I've always wanted to have a fountain, and they're really expensive, from $1,500 to $7,000. And I wasn't going to spend that kind of money. So he turned me on to Amazon and told me about some of these fountains that he bought that he thinks are better than the expensive ones that he purchased. So I said, heck, I got to try this because I have this pea green mess that's behind me and I can't stand it. So with that said, I paid $360 for this actual unit that I purchased, which is different from what my buddy purchased. And he bought one for around $300. And the difference between this unit and that unit is that this unit that I purchased has a round float, where his is rectangular. And secondly, the housing looks a little bit differently, but they're both described exactly as a 1 horsepower, 15,000 gallons per hour fountain. And their spread is relatively the same. His, I think, has a 30 foot spread and 7 foot tall, where this one that I purchased has a 8 foot height and a 33 foot spread. This other thing that it's different from the unit that I purchased that they pride themselves in is that their hardware is a little different, where they're using copper cord, basically thicker stainless steel body for the housing, better aeration. Basically, they show that they have other upgrades that the other products don't have. So for $50, $60 more, I said, heck, why not just spend for the upgrades? So the jury's out on this, but I'm going to I hate doing unboxings, so I'm not really going to do one, but I am going to lay out the items that are here. Now, the difference between this float and the other float that my buddy bought too is it comes with two different nozzles for the fountain itself. They're basically for backup. They're not going to change the appearance of it, but basically you have extras if you need it. And that's the only extra thing, and there's a timer kit with it too. So I'm just going to unbox this thing real fast, lay it all out here, and I'm going to show you what we actually bought for $360. Then I'm going to put it together. We're going to get out in the pond, and we'll see how it looks. So stay tuned. So to go over the unit that I bought, this actually is the pump itself attached to a 100-foot cord. It basically comes with 2 stakes that you can use with the wire that you need to basically secure it on the side of the pond. You have a 2 elbows, they call them drain elbows, that actually could blow a large quantity out of the unit itself. And you also have your spray nozzles, 2 of these. These are the ones that are actually going to create that fountain-like effect. So everything you need to put this together is here. And like I said, this pump itself is not that heavy. So ultimately what you need to do, and it's really kind of a no-brainer, is here's your cord. It's already attached to your pump. And it says bottom here, and obviously there's Chinese writing on top on this side. But basically, it's basically threaded. So you just basically thread this into the pump itself till it's on tight. And it threads on relatively very simply, and I could feel it going on without a problem. So thread it on best you can. Obviously, you don't want to over thread it. So once that's threaded, all you have to do is take the pump part that you're going to make it spray and thread that in. And once everything's on, that's it. Basically, you just take it out to the pond, throw it in, and then with the tent pieces here, I'm going to basically take this apart and attach and drag it out to the center. Have these set up where I can actually tether it so it doesn't blow in or out of the pond. And that's it. Pretty simple. So as far as installation goes, it's very easy to do. It comes with a timer itself that I might not use a timer because I'd rather plug in and unplug it when necessary, but I plan on keeping it running for a while just so I can kind of break down this algae problem. But it's a very simple system to use. It's $350, $360, and I think it's well worth you checking it out. So one of the most complicated parts of this whole thing that actually takes the most time is that they come with 2 spools of cable so you can basically secure the float in the pond. And the problem is they come wrapped and they come with 2 twist ties. And if you cut both twist ties off and try to unwrap it, you'll see this gets kind of tangled up a lot. So I find it's easier to basically find it, thread it, and then pull it out. And it's going to keep it together. The reason why you want to get this all pulled out and organized is because what you're going to do is you're going to take the end, which is basically has no clip to it. You're going to feed it. You're going to feed it right in here, where there's 2 holes, one on each side, and basically you're going to run it through this clip, and that's what's going to secure it into the pond. Then you're going to basically tie our cable to the stake, and that's it. So this is really the biggest and most complicated part, but it's relatively pretty simple. And so I'm going to get this all undone. Then we're going to go out to the pond and we're going to launch. All right, so we're going to launch this thing. I got some goo in its little lower areas. So what I'm going to wind up doing is taking the shovel, put this piece in the bottom of the shovel because it's plastic, and my helper over here is once I get it in the water, once it hits the water, he's going to pull it. And he's going to kind of walk this way when I tell him to, and he's going to start walking and getting that thing out into the pond. Because the whole goal is to get it in the deeper water where it's floating, where it doesn't hit the bottom. That's really our goal. That's what we're going to do. So here we go. Okay, pull it. Hang on. Pull it. Out. Okay, stay in the middle right where you're at. Pull it more out toward you. Keep pulling it. Oh, there it goes. So there you have it. Pond float that works. Well, obviously the fountain's working really good. I'm pretty excited. You know, like I say, for $360, how do you go wrong with something like that? And it looks pretty nice. The only thing I would like to do eventually is get a lighting kit for it, but we're actually starting to see it starting to blow over to the sides. and it's looking pretty good. So, and you can actually see some mist coming through. So let's see how it rolls for a while. We'll come back to it probably in a few hours, and then I'll give you a shot before dark, hopefully, if we can kind of see how much improvement this has done. But I definitely can see this is the way to go to really start to clean this pond up, because this is the only way I can think of. And I tried to use chemicals, and it was a disaster last year, and I wound up killing a bunch of fish, and I overkilled my population. It was just terrible. And on top of it, didn't take care of the weed problems. So I think this is going to be something I've always wanted to do. The cost is right, and it's something anybody can afford. So hopefully you guys can appreciate something like this, and I like listening to that sound of the water too. Yeah, definitely kind of nice. So the fountain is in. It's been 15 hours. I'm really happy with what I've been seeing. It's been running for about the 15 hours that it's been there, and it's kind of breaking this up real slow. And I expect it's going to take a little bit of time, but it's definitely doing a job. My neighbors called me. They told me they love it. They think it's great. They like what it looks like, and they also love what it sounds like, because you can definitely hear that aesthetic, comforting sound of running water. So it's kind of cool, and pretty happy with that. So this is a very good investment. The one thing I want to tell you about this Henkur unit itself, they basically are offering too that they're going to do an upgrade, so they're going to have a different fountain design as far as the nozzle goes. So I'm kind of interested in that. They also have a lot of replacement parts, so basically any part in that machine needs to be replaced. You can get the replacement parts for it. I don't know what the costs are, but they are available. And what's also nice about it, they have a 3-year warranty on the pump itself from date of purchase, and then the float itself, it has a 5-year, but that's only if you have the HAP 750, which is what I bought, which is the higher version. They had a 750 one and the HAP 750, and that's the model I have right here. So, and it just cost an extra $25, so it was well worth that investment. All right, so it's been 24 hours, and you can see the pond is a lot clearer than it was before, and it's actually working real well. So I wanted to point out one other thing too. You notice the height and the width of this fountain. It was supposed to go about 33 foot wide and 8 foot tall, and what happens is I just screwed in how it was ever set. But there, on this unit specifically, there's a screw here that you can set your pressure and actually increase your fountain height and width. And I never did that with this because I just threw it in to see if it worked. But this unit that I purchased, you actually can change and change the spray pattern from taller and wider. So again, I won't do that till a later date, but I'm pretty satisfied with it now, and it's working just as good as I want it. Because I want to say probably about 4 foot tall, and it's probably, I don't know, right now maybe 20 foot wide. But it could probably go a little bit wider if I would just change the setting. So there's a screw here, there's a nut here, and it basically compresses down, and that's what's going to make it spray out. So that's just one other thing I wanted to point out too, because if you're looking at it and you think, well, that doesn't look like it's 8 foot tall and 33 foot wide, well, you're exactly right, because it isn't. But again, it has to be set properly, and it is not set properly. But it's doing a job, it looks good, and I like it. So here is an overall view of the whole pond itself. And you can see it really cleared up a lot. A lot of that green got knocked around, and I'm very satisfied. So we're going to let this fountain keep running for a long period of time, and hopefully it does what it needs to do. In closing, I want to say that this was well worth it, and the jury's going to be out and see how long it lasts, but so far so good. I think I'm going to be very happy with this. And again, when you compare this to a lot of the more expensive models on the market, this is doing the job, and it's cheap. And if I have to go through a new one every year, that's fine. Now, I live in northeastern Ohio, so we have freezing weather and freezing ponds. So once the weather starts to get bad, this thing's going to get pulled out. and put away for the winter time. And I suggest you keep it in your house because of, you know, you don't want any kind of freezing to affect the pump itself. So that would be my first thing. They also suggest you do some cleaning to this once in a while too, and that's cool. So again, these are things you need to do some maintenance. The book in the booklet in here is very simple, very easy to understand, and I don't think you're going to have any problems with um, you know, putting this unit together. And for the money, I don't think you can go wrong. So check these out. I think you'll be happy with it. And even if you don't buy this brand, there's other brands out there that are cheap. And this 1 horsepower unit that can put out 15,000 gallons per hour. I mean, it's just a 1/3 acre pond. You know, even if you want 1 or 2 of them, they're still cheap. The only downfall is you have to have an electrical source to run these. And that's the one thing I do. My house is right over here, and I can look out my deck and I can see this, and I'm really happy with it. So, but I can run a cord to it, and it's good. And the other thing too is if you have a pond and you use it for a source of water supply for your house, you know, again, having a fountain is always a good thing. And you know, this has been a dream of mine for many years, and I'm glad I have it. And like I said, the one thing I'm going to be looking into and is getting a lighting system, because I'd like to have this lit at night. I think that would look pretty cool. As far as the timer goes, you know, because I just want it to work and do its job, I'm not even going to bother with the timer. The other thing I've also was told on this manual is that if you start and stop the unit a lot, basically it could affect its performance. So for me, I would rather just let it constantly run, do what it's supposed to do, and keep my pond free of vegetation and make it look nice again. So hopefully that's what we're going to do. So again, check these guys out. They're called Henkur. They're on the internet, and they're a very good unit, and you can buy them off of Amazon. Check them out. Again, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.